Retirement should be the reward for decades of hard work, but too many people make costly mistakes that drain their savings and create stress when they should be enjoying life. The good news is most of these mistakes are avoidable if you know what to look out for. Welcome to Retirement Unscripted, the show that helps you make smart, simple moves with your money so you can retire on your terms. Today, we're going to talk about big financial mistakes retirees make and how you can avoid them. In this episode, we'll break down some key points to make sure you're getting ready to retire. If you're getting ready to retire or you're already in it, this episode will help you sidestep the financial pitfalls and build more secure, stress-free retirement. Let's dive right in. The first key point that we have today is underestimating healthcare costs. Now, many retirees overlook how much healthcare will cost them in retirement. Like a lot of times when we have this, you have to bridge this gap in between retiring early, and when I say retiring early, that's before 59 and a half, and then until you get to Medicare, right? So there's a little gap there. So you can retire at, let's say we retire at 55 and we don't get Medicare till then. There's going to be some costs that we have to account for. So, um, you know, I think that eventually Medicare expenses like premiums, right? Copays, prescriptions, dental and vision, long-term care can add up fast. So planning is critical, right? We want to make sure we're planning for whatever our health expenses may be. I've talked about this on other episodes on how you can prepare for some of those costs, but up until this age, you understand how often you've gone to the doctor. You understand if you have any pre-existing medical conditions that may make you have to seek medical attention. So it is important for you to understand all of those things when you're getting ready to go into retirement so you can make informed decisions. Point number 2, claiming Social Security too early. Now, there's a lot of people that say you should take it as soon as you can, take it later, this and that. There's all kinds of schools of thought on when you should take Social Security. So I always say this, this is just my rule of thumb. Take Social Security when you need it. Okay. If you need it at 62 because you need it, then you have to take it. That's fine. But understand taking Social Security at 62 reduces your monthly check permanently. Okay. It's not going to go back up, while waiting until full retirement age or even 70 only increases it. And so when you're doing this, right, many retirees leave money on the table because they start soon without considering the long-term impact. We'll just say something simple like $500, right? $500 a month is the difference between taking your Social Security at 62 and taking it at full retirement age for someone that may have it at 67. If it's $500, sometimes it's more than that. Usually it is more, but I'm using this for the sake of illustration. If it's $500, right? And we know that $500 adds up to $6,000 a year. We just add it up. If it's $6,000 a year, you live 10 years longer, that's $60,000 that you're leaving on the table for starting too soon. Now, there's some people that'll say, well, what happens if something happens to me and I pass away? Well, that's a different thing that we have to talk about, but also something that you consider into your plan, right? Longevity. If you've seen your parents, how long have they lived? You typically will live as long as your parents did, maybe a little bit longer as health has continued to get better. And now people are living much longer. So these are things that you want to consider, though. Don't think just taking it early is what you need to do. Think about it, understand the long-term impacts of taking it early or delaying your Social Security. Failing to adjust spending habits. Okay. Sometimes retirees continue to spend like they did while they are working, leading to faster depletion of savings. Now, this I think can be tricky, right? Because if you're spending, you're probably going to spend more money in retirement anyhow, because you're not having to have work get in the way of the fun things that you want to do during retirement. However, just understand how your spending is going to change. Leave yourself flexibility on the amount of money that you're going to have to use on a monthly basis for different activities that you want to do. This is super important. It's important to have a realistic retirement budget and regularly track expenses, right? The reason why we're doing that, not because for one reason and one reason only, right? I think it's better to make decisions when you have the information to make them. And so tracking your expenses, not because, I need to be on a budget and I have to have this strict thing that I'm doing. Not so much that, just so that you understand what is going on and what you need to spend money on, right? This way, there's no unexpected hiccups in your retirement. Number four, not diversifying investments. Okay. Relying too heavily on one single type of investments, whether it's stocks, whether it's bonds, whether it's rental income, whether it's part-time work, whatever thing that it's going to be, you don't want to basically put all your eggs in one basket. You've heard this saying before. But what we want to do is have a well balanced, diversified portfolio tailored to meet your retirement goals. Your risk tolerance is essential to understanding everything in your portfolio, especially in today's inflationary environment. We've seen things continue to go up in cost as we're, dealing with things that are going on politically right now. I won't get into that, but I'm just saying we've seen a lot of inflation here recently. And so understanding how your investments, right, are strategically invested to meet your needs is very important. So if you don't understand how your investments are working together to help you, then this is time to kind of peel back the layer of that onion and take a deep dive into your investments and understand what's going on, how they're going to impact me, what type of returns I should expect, and if these investments are going to keep up with inflation. Number five, ignoring required minimum distributions. Now, these are RMDs. These come later, right? If you don't take your RMDs from, your tax deferred accounts. So RMDs are going to be from your IRAs, your 401ks after the age of 73. If you don't take those, it can lead to steep IRS penalties, right? So you want to make sure that you stay informed about when, how much, and which accounts to withdraw from to avoid unnecessary taxes. This is one of those things. Like I think I've said it a couple times since we've had the show, and I want to make sure we say it again. It is important to understand in retirement, you are managing your taxes. Okay. Managing your taxes is a huge part of your retirement. And so I want to make sure that you don't have to pay those unnecessary taxes for not taking your RMDs. So to wrap this up, I want to do a quick recap of the points that we made today, and I hope that these help you. Number one, underestimating healthcare costs. That's a big deal. Make sure that we have a fair understanding of what healthcare could cost in retirement. The second thing is claiming Social Security too early. Okay. We want to make sure that we take Social Security when we need it. That's when you want to take it. However, we just don't want to take it just because it's available and ignore the consequences of making that decision for the remainder of the time that you're alive. Because after you start that, you can't stop taking Social Security. Okay. And you will have that lower benefit. We talked about that $6,000 a year example on a $500 benefit. Number three was failing to adjust your spending habits. Understand this. Look, we're going to have a lot more time to spend money because we're not going to have work getting in the way of things that we want to do. So make sure you adjust your spending habits accordingly. Not diversifying your investments was number four. So we understand, right? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Make sure that you have a well diversified portfolio, and that is going to help you. The last thing is ignoring required minimum distributions. Make sure we understand those, because if you don't, there are some tax consequences for you. If you enjoyed today's episode, I'll ask you, like and subscribe so you can be up to date with this. And if you need some help with your own personal situation, please reach out to us. You can go to the website. It's gennexwealth.com. That's www.gennexwealth.com. And we look forward to seeing you there. Until next time, my name's Emlen. Enjoy your retirement.